Hello, I'm Michelle with Books Cause Insomnia. Welcome to my channel. I'm here today to do a TBR possibility video, which for me is pretty crazy because I'm a mood reader and I don't typically do TBR videos. But I'm doing something a little bit different this month and I'm excited about it. I wanted to come up with a theme that I could do every once in a while to help clear out my TBR shelves. And I thought it might be fun to assign a certain color to a certain month and just read a bunch of books that have that color on the cover or somewhere on the cover. And when I think about June, I always think about blue. To me, June is a blue month. Not because it's sad and depressing, but because after growing up in the Pacific Northwest, I was so used to skies being overcast and gloomy. It was usually around June that the skies would be blue, and I'd always felt so uplifted and happy. And also, to me, June I associate with being at a poolside, looking at the pretty blue water, or being at the beach, or that kind of thing. If there's different things that you associate with June, feel free to let me know. Since I was a little girl, I tend to associate each month of the year with certain colors. So without further ado, I'm going to talk to you about the blue books that have been on my TBR shelf that I'm hoping to read in June. I might not read all of them. I might not read half of them. This is a very relaxed TBR. I think that's why I stopped doing TBRs, was I was holding myself to reading all the books that I would mention, and I was stressing myself out. And one thing about me, if I feel like I have to read certain books, then I feel pressured, even if it's just by myself, and then I don't want to read them anymore. I know, it doesn't make sense. Now this cover only has a little bit of blue on it, but the spine has a good amount of blue, and that was what made me grab it off of the shelf. This is The Island of Lost Girls by Jennifer McMahon. This is a horror novel, and my friend AJ at AJ Dunn Reads and Writes sent it to me. So I'm really wanting to read this one. I find Jennifer McMahon books to always be really good. Then I've got Woman is No Man by Etaf Rum. This was sent to me by my friend Kristen over at Enter the Book, and it's been sitting on my TBR shelf for well over a year, maybe 2 years. I'm one of those people, though. I have books that have been here for a long time, and it's not that I don't mean to read them. It's just that for whatever reason, I'm not getting to them. I feel like I do that a lot. I accidentally pass books by a lot, but I've been finding that now that I let myself be the mood reader that I am, I'm reading a lot more books on the shelves behind me, and I'm reading a lot more of the books that have been sitting here for a long time. Searching for Sylvie Lee by Jean Kwok. Ooh, this isn't a novel. It's a puzzle box of familial secrets. Some dark, others luminous, all of it haunting, mysterious, and completely satisfying. I was utterly spellbound. And this was written by Jamie Ford, who wrote Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. Wow, that sounds really good, doesn't it? And that's the other thing. I'm kind of at the point where I want to just pick books up and read them. I don't really want to read the synopsis on the back because I feel like usually it either spoils something for me that I didn't want spoiled, or it doesn't really, in my opinion, give a good depiction of what the book is about. This has been sitting on my shelf for a long time. Miriam, Daughter of Finnish Immigrants by Diane Detterman, Miriam Kurala Dloniak. Okay, I might have mentioned this before, I'm not sure, but my grandpa moved here from Finland when he was a teenager. He had been a prisoner of war in a Russian camp, and he ended up over in America. And I don't know a whole lot about him, and I'm very fascinated with genealogy, but also with understanding him and who he was and even the culture he came from. So I thought this book might really help me in my journey of understanding. Then I've got Murder on the Links by Agatha Christie. I love this cover. It makes me want to go golfing, and I'm not a golfer. I have God, Emperor of Dune. This one I am going to be buddy reading with my friend Kristen in June, and luckily it has blue on the cover. This one just has a little bit of blue on the cover and a good amount of blue on the spine. But Party Summer, of course I have to read that one. It takes place at a beach. This is another book that my friend Kristen sent me. Scattered Showers by Rainbow Rowell. I love it when books have pages that are dipped in ink. How pretty, right? This one is, I think, a group of short stories. Is that right? Yes, it is short stories. It's got some fun pictures in there. Then I have Beautiful on the Outside by Adam Rippon. Then I have The Wizard of Oz and Other Narcissists, Coping with the One-Way Relationship and Work, Love, and Family by Eleanor D. Payson. I think most of us at some point in our lives will stumble across a narcissist, and I think it's a very important type of person to be able to understand, because they can be very stressful. And this book, it was originally written in 2002. This is the 2009 edition, and this is written from a religious perspective. Parakeet by Marie-Helene Bertino. This is a book I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and I didn't even care what it was about. I loved the cover. I was planning on reading this in May. I Saw You That Night by R.L. Stine. It was supposed to be one of my horror and mayhem books, and at this point, there's only one more day left in May. I'm not going to get around to it. So hopefully I can get to it in June. I found out, with all the different health problems and injuries I've had the last 6 months or so, I have been able to sit around at home a lot and do a lot of reading. But now that I'm leaving the house and being more active, I'm not really able to read as much. And sometimes I don't feel like reading. Sometimes I just want to watch a marathon of a show on TV or that kind of thing. So obviously I still love to read, and I'm still going to be reading a lot, but maybe not as much now that I'm actually living life again. And then we've got this one, The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. This one was recommended by MJ over at, what's her channel name? I'll put it right here. But she really highly recommended this book. It's a very long book. And I believe she said that it's got a lot of references to the 80s and 90s in it. And it's also a thriller, which is right up my alley. And it does have blue on the cover, so I'm still doing my Blue June. As always, Julia, The Letters of Julia Child and Avis Devoto. I don't know what it is, but I love reading letters that people wrote. I feel like it's a really good way to actually get to know someone, as opposed to someone who never met someone writing a book about their life. That doesn't really tell us who they really are or what they're really like, but letters are a pretty good way. And maybe it'll inspire me to cook too. That'd be nice. I love cooking, but I don't always love cooking. I've also got I'll Take You There by Wally Lamb. I got this at the Dollar Tree a couple years ago, and I've really liked the other Wally Lamb book that I've read. I think this one is about a ghost in a movie theater, if I remember correctly. This is just off the top of my head. And part of why I wanted to read it was one of my favorite books ever is She's Come Undone, also by Wally Lamb. This book actually helped me get through a very tough time in my life. I had a group of, I think it was 3 or 4 books that just helped me make a very life-altering decision and be strong throughout it. And this was one of those books, and I love it. And maybe I'll get to this one in June too. It's definitely got blue on the cover, and it has the ocean on the cover. you're welcome to join in to Blue June. I know there's a lot of readathons going on in June, and even though I would love to take part in most of them, I am a little burnout on readathons. So please let me know if you enjoy this kind of TBR where it's just random themed, like books like this where the covers are certain colors, and I'm hoping to read some of them and I don't even know what they're about. If you like that, let me know. I could probably do it again. Also, please let me know down in the description box what you're reading in June. Is there anything that you're super excited to read? Okay, well, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back in a few days with my final wrap up for what I read in May. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Happy reading. Bye.